Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Anywhere. From the 63rd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown, baby, Houston, Texas. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, got another guest from one of the participants here at this year's show. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and later on he's going to do the Car Clinic too. We'll get you caught up on the stories this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. And then back over here in the corner, ladies and gentlemen, our chief engineer, chief cook, and bottle washer, David Ainsley.
He's bent over the console.
6 people in the crowd just went,
Again.
I'm Don Armstrong, or at least I pretend to be.
Yeah.
Glad you could make it today, because we are...
We all want to be you, Don.
No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. We're here at the GRB downtown. We're live.
Julie Brown.
This is a full sold-out show. Sold out meaning the displays. So all of the spaces.
Every space is full.
Every space is full. Actually, they've even squeezed in one right behind us here with this motorcycle. Motorcycle. Is there any sign on it or anything?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
There's something back there.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever.
It says free.
We've not seen.
I doubt it's free.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mars, who's our first guest?
Well, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Jimmy Austin. He's a friend of a mutual friend, Randy Weldon.
Oh, Lord. I am
also-
so sorry.
Yeah, I know.
He's also one of the national directors for the Mustang Club of America.
We knew there was a Mustang
theme
connection.
going here with the Mustang.
But
There are other makes and models of cars
there's
here.
a Nova. Let's talk about a Nova.
today
He's driving a Chevy.
No,
Oh,
a 1929 Ford Model A Roadster with a rather unique power plant under it.
That's
But
over
I'm
there,
going to
right?
let him tell you about it.
Roadster pickup
It's a Roadster pickup truck,
powered by a
Chevrolet engine.
455 Buick Stage 1.
Boy, that's a stump puller.
Woo! We're running a winner's quick change in the rear of it.
I'm smelling
and,
burnouts.
Yeah, it's a fun toy.
I'll bet it is.
Running a turbo 400, kind of old school, and but way back in the day, I showed a Buick GSX. So therefore, the
Buick.
love for the Buick.
Buick, yeah.
Big
So
block
do
Buick.
you ride it run it with the top up or top down?
Mostly, like a lot of convertibles, it looks better with the top up as a general rule, but I'll throw it down occasionally.
Got it.
I
Okay.
will.
Because it looks really cool. And that flat black paint.
That's out of the box for me. I've been showing since the 70s, and this is the first matte black paint car I've had. And
Yeah.
I won't say that everybody's fond of it. There's a few folks that aren't.
Well, that's it.
But it ain't their car, so.
That's right. It's mine.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, that that to me is one of those that you would take out and run it on the street. You'd take it to cruise-ins. You'd take it to the Lone Star
Twisty
throwdowns.
treat.
Or the twisty treat. That's it. Any of those things. That's a driver. That's a fun car. And as a matter of fact, I was telling a friend just yesterday, man, I love my Corvette. I got an old Corvette. And I've been a Corvette guy for a long time. But that, to me, would be just a fun car. Don't have to worry about the paint. I don't have to worry about pretty much anything. It'll always start.
Drive it, and go.
That's it.
Drive
Anywhere.
it, and go. Fun car.
And with a Buick GSX motor in it, there's stage
But
1
that's-
455.
but
That thing will pull down a building.
That's what's
It
fun
will.
about those cars.
We're running the old school cheater slicks on the back of it, and it needs them.
It'll boil them off.
It'll boil them off. It will. Those motors were such low-end torque beasts.
So when people look at the car, how many people recognize it's a Buick? motor?
Almost zero. They look at it, they get that inquisitive look in their eye, then they walk
What
over
is
to
it?
the sign.
What is it,
You know,
Dad?
they walk over to the sign and start reading, and then they get that startled, 455. We had to use a remote oil filter on it, 'cause that oil filter on a Buick came up off the timing cover headed toward the frame. So to shoe spoon it in there, we had to do a little remote on the oil filter to get it in
But
there.
was that an off-the-shelf relocation piece,
not-
or did you have to make something?
Most everything was made
Yeah.
to shoe spoon it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got a rack and pinion on the front, a manual rack and pinion on the front with a Super Bell front
So it
axle.
doesn't have a Mustang 2 front end in it.
No Mustang 2. Maybe I could steal the previous gentleman's front end. No, it's a conventional rack and pinion manual.
Do you have any other cars, hot rods, show cars?
Obviously, I have a few Mustangs, and I've got a 32 Ford. I have a real 29 Model A Roadster pickup. I was at an auction a couple of years ago and accidentally raised my hand and ended up right-hand drive.
Oh, cool.
Oh, beautiful.
Car came out of Uruguay originally, and after I bought it, I went home and I went, I guess I better go look on YouTube and figure out how to start this thing, because I didn't have a clue as to how to start it up. So
I didn't even know that they made right-hand
Much
drive cars
much
back
less
then.
have to
South
shift.
America.
Much less have to shift with
Oh,
your other hand.
yeah.
That's got to be the most confusing
Well,
thing.
that and do y'all remember? It's a non-synchro, so you had to double clutch to get from one gear to the other. So shifting with your left hand,
Pedals are in the same spot, though, aren't they?
Well, they're obviously on the right-hand side
But-
of the
but-
car,
but
but yeah, still the
positionally,
left.
yeah.
Yeah, left is still the clutch.
pedals
Thank
are over
goodness. Yeah, well, thank goodness they're over on that side.
they didn't swap the pedals and put the clutch all the way on the right.
I do have a 32 Ford three-window, a glass car, typical small block Chevrolet, but air conditioned, so Mom will ride it.
Okay,
Get
so
quite a
good.
bit.
I'm glad you brought that up, because to me, I don't understand why you would put a Chevrolet motor in a Ford or a Ford in a Chevrolet.
Convenience and availability.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Well, I'll say on this one, I didn't. I bought it.
Got it. Got it.
So
Would you-
it was convenient on this car.
Yeah,
So,
but as opposed to putting a small block Chevy, I don't even know what it's got in it, a Chevy motor, wouldn't it have been just as easy to put a small block Ford motor in it?
oh, absolutely. The 32 I had before this that I showed was small block Ford, and
Well, today it's easier because the availability,
Availability.
Of stuff is there. You
It
know,
is.
back in the 70s, it probably wasn't easier because the availability of all the performance stuff was very much headed for the Chevrolet.
that's where the market was geared to.
Yeah.
I was in the auto parts business for 30 years.
Who'd you work for?
Myself.
Okay.
Jimmy's Auto Parts. Long since retired from that. But prior to this, I showed a 70 Monte Carlo.
Cool car.
Had it down here a couple of years ago. It was called the Full Monte. I had a full over 100 body mods. I actually did an interview with y'all a couple
I was
going
going
to
to say, I remember the name, the Full
the
Monty.
Full Monte.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Full Monte. So it has gone on down the road. It we let it go at Meekum a couple of months back. So we're all into this 29 Roadster pickup.
Now, if you were going to select an engine for your Model A besides the Chevrolet, what would it be?
Oh,
In the Ford,
if I had an unlimited budget, it'd be a Ford Camry.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, that would be my.
I was going to think you were going to go 429 Boss, but
The Camry is such a.
explain what a camera is for those of us dummies that don't know.
It's a dual overhead cam, timing gear set up on the front of the
I got you.
engine. It's a Hemi head Ford motor would be.
and the timing gear setup was done by a guy from Switzerland that also builds Rolex watches, because that is a complicated timing
If you
setup.
could find an engine, they're going to cost you $50,000 or $60,000.
Almost like an elephant motor.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. It's the equivalent of the Hemi, but in a Ford.
So let's.
just to be.
I want to poke this a little bit further.
All right.
Okay. How about a Chevrolet 327 or a Chevy small block of some sort? What would be the Ford equivalent to that?
in my opinion, probably a 302.
Yeah, I was gonna say they need the 5 liters. Yeah.
I've got several, or have had several. I have 2 right now. Hypo 289s, the 271 horse, great powertrain, and I've.
Are they reliable? Are they as reliable as the Chevy small block?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But you could, I mean, couldn't you get 300 horsepower out of those things easy?
Yeah.
Oh, easily. The Hypo motor was rated at 271 from the factory, and it's the same engine that was in the early Shelbys. Carroll Shelby put an aluminum intake and a Holly, and they rated them at 306.
306.
Yeah.
See, I'm an old school purist. I mean, I would want a Ford motor in my Ford whatever it was.
Well, I just think it's cool. It's a Buick motor.
That's really different.
Yeah.
That is truly the out of the box. Let me put a Buick motor in my Ford.
Yeah, no, you won't ever see another one.
Yeah.
I know. I get what you're saying, but at this point.
So what the Stage 1 motor come out of?
It was a Buick Grand Sport.
Grand Sport.
Yeah,
Okay.
Buick Grand Sport. Yeah.
Why would you
70
take
miles.
that out of a Buick Grand Sport unless it had been
Well,
wrecked?
it was
Probably.
a junker. It was.
It had seen
Way-
its day.
way-
Now, did you rebuild that motor?
Yes, it has been rebuilt. But pretty stock. I mean, it's running an aluminum intake and an Edelbrock carburetor.
Stock. Stock. It's got 500 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, the
From the
Buick engine
factory.
is the torque.
Yeah.
It's all about the torque. Yeah. It's,
Well, I mean, if you're not going to put a Ford in a Ford, then that would be, if you just go way out there in the limb, that would be the thing to do.
Oh yeah. That's actually pretty cool.
I mean, it obviously has more horsepower than a Briggs and Stratton, but if you put a Briggs and Stratton in there, that would draw some attention too. Just saying.
I'll let you build that one.
It fit better. It would
I'll come and take pictures of it when you get it built.
Yeah, exactly.
definitely fit better.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
It would be, wouldn't it?
You could do the lawn at the same time.
You could.
Yeah, put a blade on the
Yeah,
bottom of it.
absolutely.
I'll go for that.
God.
But I wanted to be outside the box on this one.
So you built this?
No,
or you bought this?
I kind of a combination, shall we say? Tweaked it after I got it. And,
Well, that's what we do, though.
sure.
You
We
get it?
we make them your own.
Yep.
You always make.
So
them
what
your
brand wheel is that?
Own. Oh,
Because that's a different wheel.
yeah.
Almost like American racing.
Wait a minute.
Kind of like
I
the
was
front one.
thinking it's not quite a
No,
Halla
I
brand,
think it's a Fenton wheel.
Fenton? Okay.
I think it's a Fenton wheel.
'Cause
You're-
definitely
I'm
a
having
different-
a senior moment right now for all of you that haven't
Welcome-
had one.
welcome
You're
to
on the right show. That's
we
for
are,
sure.
yeah, we are a senior moment.
Come to the right place.
I didn't brush up on that question before.
Well, no, just because it's a
Oh, yeah.
unique wheel.
The wheel fits the car. Yeah, it definitely goes with it.
Like the dummy fits the radio show.
I resemble that remark.
Man.
We're having fun with the car. I think this is our 6th show this season. This is the last show of the 2023 season.
Right.
And,
So you got all your points?
no, I'm one of. There's 5 people here that are have 3 points and need that last 4th point, and so I'm one of the 5.
Where have you shown before?
This year I showed in Birmingham, Tupelo, Dallas, Cincinnati. I'm leaving one out.
What
They
is
run
Houston?
Houston.
What
Well,
is-
now Houston.
What
yeah.
is it about Cincinnati? I have never heard anything except in this show. People talk about Cincinnati.
Well, they train
Joe Burrow.
KRP.
they train turkeys how to fly.
That's right. They throw them out of helicopters. Hey, Lonnie
Don,
Anderson.
you're in the
Lonnie
radio
Anderson.
business.
There you go. You get a point for that.
Yeah. Raise your wrinkle
You
hand
get
if
2
you remember
points.
that show.
You get 2 points
is the
for that one.
Cincinnati show as big as this show?
It's spread out. It's in an old fairgrounds, and there's multiple buildings. It's quaint.
Oh,
Quaint's a polite way to say it
Nostalgic.
kind of
Yeah,
A
that's.
little nostalgic.
I'm really trying to be politically correct right
sounds
now.
I'll
like-
say it. It was a dump.
Still need that one point.
And I still need 1 point. So I prefer if Paul Pataki and Pete Tundis don't get real upset with
Oh,
it.
how funny. How funny.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one that said it. I've been doing this 50 years. I know them.
To me, it's like the Dallas State Fair. That cut-up car show that they have up there. That's a new car show.
Oh, I was going, what car?
Yeah,
State Fair
and
in
they
Texas.
line them up in the water.
it left much to be desired this year. I live up in Dallas, and
Well, we're both OU fans. We thought it was great.
Boomer Sooner.
I volunteered over at the Hall of State building this year, right across from the car show. And
It just I don't understand. And the manufacturers think highly of that Dallas car show for some reason. And
It's a head count
crowd.
thing.
Yeah,
It's a head count thing. Dallas Car Show draws more people. The Dallas State Fair, and they count that as their attendance, has more attendance than any other car show in the country.
Exactly.
If I'm going to the state fair, I don't care about the car show. I'm going to the state fair.
Well, but it's what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks long?
oh, it's a month.
3
It's a
weekends.
month
It's
long.
Three
long.
Yeah.
weekends. Yeah. It's
So
almost a month.
that's where they get their crowd and the big numbers and stuff.
So it's a skewed kind of conglomeration of stuff,
It's about cheating.
pretty much. Because here our new car show is a standalone out at NRG Center, and it's big.
Oh, we have
It's-
boats too.
It's a car and boat show
Yeah.
now. It's not standalone. You can go fishing there.
It
You
doesn't
can't
have
go
a,
fishing at anybody else's car show.
it doesn't have a state fair associated with it.
Correct.
So it is a standalone show as far as vehicles are concerned.
Well, they have the monster truck show next
Yeah.
door. It's always interfering with the parking.
That, sir, would be a moving event.
Don't explain it.
So would that be a cruising or a,
sometimes you just want to get up and slap this
I know.
guy.
Here, I got a stick over here. We'll
Yeah.
hit him with it.
Reach out and smack someone.
You.
There weren't enough revolving turntable cars at the new car show down at the state with the models that used to, and
They don't have
they
that
didn't.
anymore.
It
It's
was
all
gone.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Turntable people were on strike.
Yeah, but as a adolescent boy growing up, that's what you went down there to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah. That's,
I remember it, kind of.
just like it was yesterday.
Your
Not.
adolescence.
Yeah. All right. So, what are you going to do from here? You going to go to another show?
Well, the new season starts. It depends on whether I get that fourth point or not. After this interview, I may not.
That's it. But
The finale's in Cincinnati, in
in January.
Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland. That's not.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
gosh.
Even
I'd
worse.
Rather, I'd
Wait a
rather
minute.
go to Cincinnati.
Cleveland. I've got a mix because last year on Sunday night there was a playoff football game starting at the same time we were moving out.
In Cleveland? It hadn't happened in 20 years.
Wait a minute.
And that's right on the
Have I
water.
got them backwards?
Maybe Cincinnati.
They were Cincinnati. Cincinnati. That's what it was.
The only thing worse would have been Toledo.
Oh, it's cold up there. Is all I
Is that
know.
still
Toledo
there?
Mud Hens.
Yeah. But anyway, that's where I'll be headed next. Hopefully, if I get that fourth point, it's up north
Cleveland is home of the
Oh,
Cleveland
that's what you need the
Steamers.
point.
to be able to
be able to
qualify.
qualify.
So who do we need to
qualify.
talk to? Who
Yeah.
do we need to get out here?
Yeah, exactly. Who do we bribe? That's it.
Yeah,
That's
where's
it.
Larry when you really need
Oh,
him?
where's Larry Way? Where's our Canadian guy?
That's right.
Yeah. Jimmy Austin, it's great to talk to you, sir.
Appreciate you having
Well,
me.
thank you very much for stopping by.
Take
Good
care.
luck
You
on
do
getting
the
that
same.
point.
And
Thank you,
welcome to
sir.
the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. It's time now for Conrad's This Week in Auto History. Do you have that?
Yep.
There's a big pause there, like, uh-oh, I got to do something
In
now.
1923, Garrett Morgan patents the three-position streetlight. Originally, the streetlight
I mean,
was
traffic light.
traffic light. Yeah. Originally, it was just red and green. Now, Garrett added the yellow to the middle of it, so that way you could, speed up a little bit before it turned red. Because isn't that what yellow means? Step on the gas.
Try and clear the intersection before it turns red.
In 1954, the 50 millionth General Motors car was produced. General Motors Chevrolet General Manager Thomas Keating drove a gold-plated 1955 Bel Air Sport Coupe off the assembly plant in Flint, Michigan, making the 50 millionth automobile produced by General Motors. To commemorate the occasion, Chevrolet built 5,000 gold-plated Bel Airs. All of these were four-door models, and their trim remained in chrome. This, of course, was much less expensive than the 716 trim parts that were actually gold-plated on the one car. And that one car spent its time touring the country as a show car. kind of like this. Where did that car go? Nobody knows.
The
That car?
That one was a coupe, though.
It was a Ford. Yeah.
The one that General Motors did was a coupe.
Okay.
The rest of them were four-doors.
Four doors. Okay. Oh yeah, the one he drove off the display was a coupe. Yeah. The story goes the man was planning to restore a rusty Bel Air drag car, and he found the old gold-plated one, and when the restorer was offering to swap cars with his friend, he discovered a bunch of gold-plated trim pieces in the trunk. Bit more research and called and found out that GM revealed the car's VIN matched that of the 50 millionth GM. He had the real gold car in his garage. General Motors supposedly offered the guy to restore the car so they could use for their 50th anniversary promotions in 2005. The owner passed away, and the car was lost somewhere up on the East Coast, and nobody knows where it is to this day. It's going to show up at some point. So somebody's going to find it, hopefully. In 1959, Ford announced the end of EdSol.
Thank God.
In 10 years of development, it cost $250 million, was spent on planning and marketing and manufacturing and distribution, and it did nothing for Ford but cause a financial fiasco. Facing a $350 million loss, Ford announced the discontinuation of the EdSol brand this week in 1959. In 1963, 60 years ago this week, JFK was shot in a Lincoln Continental convertible.
Yep.
Where were you? Do you remember?
Yes, I was at home, ill, watching television.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They say a lot of people will remember where they were when they heard of Lincoln getting shot. And
Lincoln. I didn't remember Lincoln,
but he was
I
in
was
a
close.
But Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln.
He was shot in a Lincoln.
Lincoln.
That car is on display at the Henry Ford in Detroit.
And that was my point. Yeah, that specific car is still on display.
Yes, it's not a convertible any longer, but it's on display.
And then in 1970, Ford announced the 351 Boss Mustang. Ford introduced that one-year-only Boss 351 Mustang in 1970 for the 1971 model year at the Detroit Auto Show. The vehicle featured a 351 Cleveland V8. Only 1,800
Cleveland Steamer.
Yeah, only 1,806 of the Boss 351 Mustangs were ever built for 71. Another one of those one-year-only cars. And I think I'm going to probably do a piece here on some of those one-year-only unique cars that were out there. Because I own one. But there's some pretty cool cars that were one-year-only cars. So that's it.
Cool.
That's this week in automotive history.
Mr. Mars?
Yes, sir.
We have another hour of this show.
Yes, sir.
That's coming up. It's a bonus hour because we are here at the George R. Brown Convention Center.
Having a big time, too.
We are. The 63rd annual Autorama.
Let's just interview a random person coming by to get their feeling on the show.
That would
Here
be,
comes somebody.
Yeah, that would be great, but
He's not real random. He is random.
how are you, sir? It's good to see you. Thank you.
Johnny Random.
Well, if nothing else, we're loud. But at any rate, you guys,
Nice to meet you.
we have some other stories that we could do.
Yes.
I got a couple that I could get in, squeeze them in right now.
What we got? Okay.
This falls under the bad car dealer tab.
Another one?
A missing vehicle title drove the discovery of nearly $29,000 in stolen cash at Central Ford in Truman, Arkansas. I don't know where that is. Money allegedly taken by the store's former general manager, a former Arkansas state trooper.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
hey,
Woodard, a fellow Central Ford employee paid nearly $10,000 cash for a vehicle down payment to Nicholas Hawley, but never received the title, Truman Police Chief Jonathan Redmond told Automotive News. Dealership video footage and a lack of paperwork revealed the alleged swindles. Once the Central Ford dealership emptied, Hawley snatched the money without officially recording the sale. Dealership representatives shared findings with police, and Holly was arrested November 9th on accusations of theft of $25,000 or more from a business and first-degree forgery, both felonies. At the time, $28,756 was missing from the dealership, police said. Holly also would allegedly take a customer's cash down payment and send the correct paperwork to the finance department, according to a police report. He'd then alter the sales amount or down payment to conceal whatever cash he took, essentially creating a sales record switcheroo.
Wow.
So, let's not be buying any cars in the near future over there at, it's called Central Ford
It's called
Truman, Arkansas.
The selling technique is called the four square. So what they do is they draw out four little squares for you. One's about down payment, one's about term, one's about interest rate, and one's about price. And they always try and get you to focus on one of the four, and they'll turn you upside down on the other three.
Exactly.
Very old school selling technique for dealerships, not necessarily for.
Wonder how that worked out for him.
7 to 8 years.
In a penitentiary.
26 will get you 50.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address info@inwheeltime.com. More from the 63rd annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center after a quick break. Stay with us. Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back! Thanksgiving weekend! The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the Celebrity Stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G, Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts.